Hello guys, we are finally live. Thank you for watching. We will do another catch up in a few minutes because normally when we are live it will take a few minutes before everyone is joining. But my name is Peter and next to me is my very nice colleague Joe, and we are from Propertia and we have a real estate company in Bali. So we hope you guys who are joining right now, you have relevant questions. Any questions are more than welcome.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. We have received a lot of questions anyway. So we will start by just telling you a little bit what's going on in Bali. So after COVID, as Joe mentioned in previous videos, after COVID, we thought that Bali was going to pick up slowly, but actually what happened was there was a big boom in tourism, I would say around 3 months after COVID was gone. And now, a year later, after COVID, we had a big building boom to satisfy the majority of investors who came to Bali and said, listen, we would like to invest in daily rental properties. We are, I would say, specialists in daily rental properties.
Yes.
1 and 2 bedroom, but of course we also sell very big villas. But Bali, to describe it right now, Bali is amazing. It's doing fantastic, and we still have a building boom going on in Bali. The building boom is, of course, mainly in Canggu, where we're sitting right now. We're sitting in our office in Penang. And then we have a huge building boom down south in an area called Uluwatu, which is the Bukit Peninsula. And the Bukit is booming more or less everywhere. Primarily it's Bingin. Bingin has become a hub for, I would say, the old Canggu crowd.
Yep.
And now it's very interesting to see what's actually going on in Bingin because there is very few villas for rent down there, and that is why everyone is building like crazy to satisfy the demand from the tourism. So we will start with a few questions. As I mentioned, we will just pick up again doing another introduction later when people are joining. But we have our sweet colleague May sitting over here, and we actually gathered all the questions from our sweet followers. And May, what is the first question?
Hello everyone. So before I give you the questions, people say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
So let's start with the first question that we got. So the first question is from one Fester 01. Can I get finance to buy a property in Bali?
Okay, I will repeat the question for you guys because we are wearing mics and May is not. Can I, as a buyer, get a finance?
Yes.
Joe?
The answer is no, unfortunately not. To keep it very simple, Bali's a cash island, which means every property purchase needs to be done through cash unless you're a local that's buying freehold property here and possible to get a mortgage. So if you're a foreigner looking to invest in a daily rental property here, you need to pay cash up front. But we do specialize in properties that are off plan. That usually is 12 to 18 months of a build process. And usually the payments for that are spread over the 12 to 18 months. So if you don't quite have all the money right now and you're looking to just spread the payments over a little while, then that can be done during the build progress of 12 to 18 months.
Correct. So no finance, it's cash based, and that is also why the market is not so vulnerable, I would say. In times of recession, in times of COVID, we didn't see any huge drops in property prices either.
No.
Because obviously if a property is financed with a mortgage, there's other people who's going to pressure you to sell the properties, but if it's 100% financed by yourself, you don't have the same pressure.
Yeah.
Good. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So if I change the title from freehold into HGB, Haguna Bagunan, can I then get a finance?
Good question. Do you know the answer?
Yes.
Okay, you can answer then.
Yes, you cannot. So if you change the title into HGB, then it's more or less side by side. It's looked upon as a freehold.
Okay.
But a PT PMA cannot get a mortgage in the bank. So it's very easy. I asked the bank, because obviously I have a PT PMA, and I said, okay, what if I change the title of the certificate into Haguna Bagunan? Can I then get finance? And they said, no, we don't give mortgages to PT PMAs.
Okay.
Only Indonesian citizens can get mortgages, or of course mixed marriages, right? Good. Okay, next question.
So this question is from Paul.James360. What is the real current ROI in Bingin?
Nice.
Yeah, good question. What is the real ROI in Bingin? Are we talking Bingin specific or Uluwatu?
Currently.
Okay, currently in Bingin.
Yeah.
Cool. Bingin is booming. We always say Bingin is booming. The biggest challenge in Bingin right now for clients who want to rent there is that there's a major undersupply of villas. So when we look at Canggu and the surrounding areas, Canggu's almost turned into a mini city these days, where there are thousands of properties available. Whereas if you go down to Uluwatu or Bingin specifically, you're talking a handful, less than, probably at this stage, less than 50, less than 100, very nice properties. And what we're seeing is more and more demand in the market for people who want to stay down there, but not enough properties. So currently, what that means is that demand is very high and the supply is very limited. Of course, we're seeing this building boom continue in Bingin, where there's more and more properties being built and then more availability, but it's going to take a very long time for it to catch up with Canggu. So realistically, at the moment, it's very, very possible to get more than 15% net ROI in Bingin. Of course, over time, it will start to level out, but I think we're still talking years away from that actually happening.
I fully agree. When we go down there a few times every week, we can just see the crowd is just growing and growing, and there's a huge demand. And I met some tourists that was actually living in a homestay because they couldn't get a villa. So it is a huge demand. It's definitely one of the areas I would invest in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got questions from our live.
Nice.
We love that. We love you guys.
Good.
Ask away, because we will be 100% honest with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start from a little baby bazaar. Hello, say hello to little baby bazaar.
Hello.
Little baby Pisa.
Little
Hello.
baby Pisa.
Such a cute username.
Yeah.
So,
She, it must be a she, huh?
It must be a she.
Yeah, it's a she.
So, it's okay. Bingin or Peranan or Barawa for investing. So.
Wow.
Bingin, Preranan, or Barawa for
Easy.
investing.
Easy.
Oh, I know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Okay, you get two opinions here. Definitely Bingin. The reason why, like Joe just said, there's a huge undersupply of villas. Purely as an investment, which we are, I would say, specialist in. We have handed over the keys for a few properties now in Canggu. They are performing with a 90% occupancy, because we try to sell whatever the demand is, but Bingin is incredible. I looked at the numbers in AirDNA a few weeks ago, and I could see that the daily rent was 20% higher in Bingin than in Canggu. There's less competition, and you can actually charge more. And I think that's why my recommendation would be Bingin.
I agree. But we should talk a little bit about the other two areas, in case people don't know what they are. So Canggu is the hub that everyone knows, and Canggu started as a one street through a fishing village where the surfers went a few years ago. Canggu's now turned into a global brand, and part of that, you've got Canggu in the middle, Preranan on one side, Barawa on the other side. So they actually all form Canggu, what we would call Canggu, but Canggu is actually the middle part. So those two areas have grown a lot over the last few years, maybe just a little less known than the middle of Canggu, which would be Batu Belong, Nelayan, Echo Beach. Bingin, yes. Absolutely insane. If I had the choice, if you gave me $200,000 to $300,000 right now and said where to invest in those three places, I would say Bingin for sure.
100%.
All right. Okay. Next question from Corey Metagard. So how do I first invest? How do I invest?
Easy.
How do I invest?
Yeah.
How do I start my investment?
Yeah.
That's very easy. I'm probably going to make a video about this. First, you choose the area, then you choose the villa according to your budget, and then you contact an agent from Propertier, and then you talk about is this the right selection.
Yep.
That's all I can recommend. We do a lot of Zoom calls with customers who are just about to buy, and we sometimes actually change their mind.
Yep.
If they were about to buy in Kidungu.
Yep. That
We
comes
say-
to one of our next questions, I think.
Then we will probably say, no, go to Bingin. We are only trying to help you guys. We are not trying to build up a new area. We go with the flow. We try to advise people according to what we see in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is from Alex Turner. What are you part of the ecological solution, or are you the main problem?
Wow, that's a good question. Joe, you have to
You're the
answer.
business owner.
I think, to be honest, there's a lot of things that need to be changed. But I would say the development of Bali is not, we are a part of it, the development. If you want Bali to be as it was in 1974, when Australian people started to come here, that's not realistic. There has to be a lot of improvement. We have a huge water issue down south, and the government is a part of it. And that's why also the government said, listen, we are gonna be charging tourists in the future $10, right? 150,000 rupiah
Yeah.
to improve the infrastructure and to improve everything about sustainability. And it's super important that we know, especially about water, that we have a huge problem. For me, it's, how would I say it? It's, we are part of the problem, but I don't think it's a problem that cannot be fixed. Bali is developing. We go with the flow. We are very small. Sorry, I'm looking at me. We are very small real estate company, and we try to do our best to educate people. But it is a big problem when you have so many people who are interested in joining Bali at the same time. A lot of building is going on. But right now we see actually in Canggu they're improving all the sewer systems
Yeah.
and sidewalks. There's a lot of things going on, but it will probably the next 10 years, I think. What do you think about sustainability?
I think that we are a small part of the problem that needs fixing, but we also have our morals and what we believe should and shouldn't be done here. We carefully choose the developments that we want to be involved in, and this is not for any reason other than we have our own opinions on what belongs here in Bali and what doesn't. So we're not going to be able to fix the problem single-handedly, but we can choose the developments that we don't wish to be a part of, and there are plenty. In fact, I think we probably turn away more than we take as a company, which is our small part of trying to slow down the development that we don't agree with.
Yes. And just make a note here, we need to talk about apartments in Bali.
Yes,
Coming
that's what I
later.
was talking to.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Very important.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
next
you,
question.
Alex Turner.
So next question, we got question from YouTube, guys.
Nice.
From YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
So from YouTube, do you guys do on
DD?
do you guys DD on the developer you select?
Yes.
Yes.
We do.
Yep.
Like Joe just said, we turn down around 60%,
Yeah.
I think. Not all developers, we find out later on, of course, unfortunately, not all developers are professional. We try to work with developers who are financed already. We don't want them to be financed only by ourselves, but we choose developers on location, experience, design, price, especially price.
Yeah.
Wow, we have, you know, when we deal, I have 15 years experience in real estate, and everyone is saying, yeah, but you represent the seller because he's paying your commission. In Bali, it's a little bit different because we represent the buyer and the seller at the same time, 50-50. We represent you guys who wants to buy in Bali because we need to make sure your investment is good. What does that mean? Just make it short. You can also be a family who wants to invest in Bali. It doesn't really matter. We don't want you to buy too expensive. Because eventually you'll come back to us and say, we would like to resell our villa, and then we are gonna say, oh, you bought it too expensive. So that's what we are trying to prevent. Yeah.
Okay, so for the question is from Abdub, and Abdub asks again, is Nyang a good area to invest in now?
Nyang.
Nyang.
Yes.
Yes, we like Nyang. I think if you look at Uluwatu as a whole, and we take some knowledge from the previous Canggu market, then we know that Nyang is going to be successful in the future. And we compare now Bingin to what Batu Belong, the middle of Canggu, was 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I think that will remain as the central hub of everything down there, and all of the areas on the outside will continue to grow. What we like about Nyang is, first of all, the infrastructure. The roads are amazing. When you drive down there, nice wide roads. Actually, Pidam, which is the water system, is being linked up down there. It'll take a bit of time, but the infrastructure is much, much better down there, and it's very accessible. But to get from there back into Sulaban or Padang Padang, Bingin, anywhere like that, is 8 to 12 minutes really, so it's not very far at all. So yep, we think Nyang's fantastic, and what I would say with Nyang is it's the place right now where you maybe can still get a little bit more for your money. So if you have $199,000 to spend in Bingin, maybe that's a 1-bedroom villa, and if you take that to Nyang, it's probably a 2-bedroom villa. So if you're looking for something a little bit more space but you're still budget conscious, I think Nyang is going to be the perfect place, but it's still going to take another year or two, I think, before it really starts to pick up, and that will probably happen when a big gym opens, cafe, restaurant, something like that.
So, like, another question asked as well from Nases Ola. What do you think of Seseh? Now it's from Nyang to Seseh. What do you think?
Yeah, we love that you guys have questions about the areas.
Yep.
We love Seseh. I think we loved it more a few years ago.
Yeah.
Seseh has, for us, Seseh was the Malibu of Canggu.
Yes.
Which it was a nice, beautiful, very traditional village, very close to the beach. Unfortunately, what we have seen lately is that the development is going in the wrong direction, which is one of the points that we are gonna talk about later. We don't mind that villas are being built and added on to the existing village, but what we don't like is the whole, I would say, scenery changing. And Seseh is unfortunately a victim of that. It's a little bit out of control. It's not only villas being built, but we will mention that later, what is being built. Seseh has potential, but there is a special part of Seseh I still believe in. It's the one behind or next to, close, where Terakama is, close to the beach, where it looks like only villas are gonna be built. But I had stronger beliefs in Seseh a few years ago, but now it seems to be a little bit, too much.
Also, our opinion is it depends why are you buying there.
Yeah.
Right? If you're saying just investment, then Seseh might not be the first place we recommend, but it's still going to be good, great in the future. If you said we're a family that's looking for a peaceful life in Bali, then maybe Seseh is going to be fantastic. And I think maybe we should go to the other place as well, Canggu. Because I can see a question up there.
Yeah, I would like just to finish up Seseh. There's pockets of Seseh which we love, because we can see what's going on around. Like we have a beautiful project called Terakama, and they control the environment themselves. They are like 150 meters away from the beach, which is very, very rare. I think Joe said it. Normally these areas are commercial, and Terakama is one of the more beautiful sites that you can easily buy, but you have to look at what's going on. The next one was Kidungu.
Yeah, but Corey McDougard, the previous question, he said, like, can you help me purchase and contact me, please?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Corey, all we need is your phone number. If you have WhatsApp, it's amazing. It's a much easier way to communicate with you guys. Email, I used to email in Denmark when I came here, and I thought that was I said I was going to change Indonesia into email. Forget about it. WhatsApp, please, guys. WhatsApp. Yeah, but of course we will help you. The purpose of having these videos is for you to feel comfortable with us, but also with the information we are giving you.
Okay. Since we are on the topic of Seseh, now we go to Kedunggu. So
Yes.
So what do you think of Kedunggu?
I love Kedunggu.
I would say, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
There's nowhere that I don't love in Bali, to be honest. But if you depends on the reason that you want to be there. I like Kedunggu. If I didn't need to work in Canggu every day, then of course I could live in Kedunggu and have a peaceful life. I don't think it's ready for investment and return on investment yet. But not to say that won't come in the future. It's still very early for the area, and I think 4 or 5 years ago, I remember people saying to us, "This is going to be the new Canggu. This is going to be Batu Belong in just a few years," and it's not quite there yet. So I think it's going to take time. But what we need to consider with Kedunggu is the separation between there and the nearest busy place, which is actually Prerenan or Seseh, is huge. And when that will have happened years ago when Seminyak was the hotspot and Canggu was still in its inception, there was quite a big distance, and it takes time for that to gradually connect together and then grow. The same needs to happen in Kedunggu, but that's going to take quite a few years, I think.
I give it another 5-10 years.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So next question from YouTube. Username is Game of Life. He asks, which areas in Bali are considered the most family-friendly in terms of safety, community, and amenities suitable for children? And adding to his first question, what about traffic? I was in Bali 2023 and the traffic is crazy.
Actually, I don't have a car, but I borrowed a car last week, and I would say it can be quite a nightmare to sit in a car. Infrastructure has to be improved a lot, but I would say for family, I love Prerenan for families, Tumbak Bayo. It depends where you're going to put your kids in school. If it's Canggu Community School, it's Umalas Bumbak in the back of the school. If it's Green School or somewhere else a little bit further out, definitely Tumbak Bayo, Prerenan. Prerenan for me seems, where we are sitting today, it seems to be a residential area where it's just families, big villas, a lot of nice restaurants, cafes. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Traffic has to be improved, and that's also a part of the plan with the $10 per tourist to improve the infrastructure.
And I think over the last year, we've seen several new by roads happen around
shortcuts
the outside.
And,
But whenever somebody asks me about the traffic, I always refer back to one thing. And I used to live in London.
Yeah,
and I
it's
used to
the same.
drive to work at 8 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes I would get stuck in traffic for 3 or 4 hours, and I didn't live that far away. So, of course, it's crazy at hectic times. There are times to avoid, but I think it's honestly the same anyway.
It's the same in Copenhagen. 7:30 in the morning, you can be stuck in traffic for 1 hour.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I think it's a global issue.
Getting the sun.
Exactly.
So his first question, you guys haven't answered it. Like, where do you guys think is family-friendly area that is in term safety, amenities, and so on?
Bumbak, Umalas, if you put your kids in CCS.
Yep.
And then we have Prerenan, Tumbak Bayo, if you want your kids in green school. Those are the family areas. They're fantastic. And I would say Bali is incredible safe. If you're a family who is considering to come to Bali, I mean, I've seen what's going on around the world, and Bali, we have very, very few problems. So we are so many different nationalities, so many different cultures, and we still get along, and it's a small island, but we never have any problems. It's amazing.
Okay, so next question from Mosti. Do you think that government rules will change regarding building in certain zones or even increasing taxes?
Good question. Do I think government rules will change regarding building in certain zones? In answer to that, I think yes. I think they will, and I think it needs to happen because what we've seen is there's never been a problem with singular or small complexes of villas being built, but now you're starting to see huge apartment blocks popping up in quiet residential rice field areas like Tumbak Bayou or Babakan, and something has to change with that. I think it's probably not the right area for it. There used to be a lot more consideration on how high people would build and how much space you would leave around your building as well. I think over time land has got more expensive here and people have had to squeeze a little bit and then build further up, but I think the government will probably change the regulations on that, or just enforce it a little bit more, because I think you'll find the regulations are probably already there. And regarding taxes, the taxes are already there. If people pay their taxes, there's no problems.
True.
So this person also bought a property from you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for trusting us with the business.
Is, for mostly.
Yeah.
Does that give me the option for a residency in Bali?
When you are purchasing a property?
Because like he said, I have a property I bought with you guys.
Yeah.
Does that give me the option for residency in Bali?
Well, they're changing all the visas right now. I think in the future, if you invest, it happened in Thailand, if you invest a certain amount, then you automatically can get or can apply for certain visas. It depends on what you mean by being a resident. You can always get a long-term visa. That's not a problem. And of course also save your contract with us and show that you invested in Indonesia. It will help you a lot. So I don't see anyone having any problems. Staying here is not a problem anymore. It used to be very complicated. I remember when we started being here, we had to fly out every second month, but now it's much more easy.
Currently in Bali, there's 200,000 foreigners living here.
200,000. But we still miss you.
Yes.
Just guys, there's a lot of people that are asking like if we have solar energy in the villas or where do we buy furniture. I think that it's good to tell people that we do not develop.
No,
We're
yeah,
not
exactly.
developers.
We are not developers, for sure not. We represent developers. We ask them every time, you know, how can we improve? The price matters, of course, also solar energy is not that expensive. The problem is the maintenance. So we have seen a lot of people installing solar panels, then they break, and then there's no one qualified to manage it. But yes, solar panel, the sun is always shining in Bali, so of course we need solar panels. We also talked about using rainwater to flush the toilets, to save, you know, it's 2.5 liters every time you flush the toilet. There's so many things that developers can do, but we are not developers, we are real estate agents. But we talk with the developers all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that part. So let's continue with our
Yes.
question. So this is from Johnny Langley. What is the rough cost per square meter to build in Bali?
Oh, thank you for that question. Very relevant.
Yep.
Joe, you've been building, so you should know.
Yeah. If you want a good, decent quality, I think it's very difficult to build for less than 12 million per
Yeah,
square meter
I agree.
these days, which is approximately $700, something like that. And that will
Per square meter.
Per square meter.
Yeah.
And it goes up from there. So 12 million up to around 16. So you're looking around 700 to 1,000, $1,100 per square meter to build.
It's just the building costs,
Yes.
not furniture is included. Yeah.
And for your nice finishings, you will pay.
But you have prices also. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. How much does it cost to furnish in a nice style?
1 bedroom, $10,000.
Which
150 million.
I agree.
2 bedroom, probably around 250.
Yeah.
So $15,000. 3 bedroom, probably closer to 400 million.
Yeah.
Something like that.
True.
$25,000 to $30,000. And it's fun to do here as well. Right?
It's fun and it's cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question: would you consider selling in Lombok?
Oh, I'm actually looking at dear friend, the videographer Romat, right now because we shot in Lombok Main Street in Kuta. Yes, eventually, I think, yeah. But the problem for us, it's very, very different from Bali. Lombok is an island where there's a lot of money being invested. If you go there, the infrastructure is absolutely insane. But for us, Bali is in our heart and in our mind. And I'm almost like, we don't want to expand in Indonesia, but there's other islands I will probably go to before Lombok. Don't want to mention anyone, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, good.
So there's a question from YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Babakan, Canggu for living?
We forgot that actually.
For living,
Yeah, Babakan is fantastic.
Babakan's fantastic.
Yeah.
Lots of questions about areas.
Yeah,
Keep them
we love that. Babakan, fantastic for families. We sold a few big family villas. The good thing about Babakan, you have very fast and easy access to either Green School or to the beach.
Yeah.
You go through Batu Belong. It's sort of connected with Batu Belong. That is also why we see a slightly higher price in Babakan for land than we do in Umalas and Bumbak. But we love Babakan for sure. We have a lot of friends living in Babakan. So yeah, Babakan.
Okay. So next question is there a new airport being built in the north of Bali? Is there any airport being
Yes,
built?
and there has been for the last 15 years.
Exactly.
Not sure
Good
what
answer.
happened.
A
Supposedly,
floating one, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I believe the audience cannot hear my voice.
No,
So
Okay.
speak up loud. I will repeat the question.
you
Question.
repeat the question.
Is there a new airport coming to Bali in the north? And we have to say, maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know if it's going to be Singaraja, Lovina, who knows. But one thing we know, they talked about it for a lot of years, 10 years at least, because it can be a long drive going from Bali Airport to the north.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful up there.
Yeah. But they're
But
also doing
very
a lot
underdeveloped.
of upgrades on the current airport at the moment, right?
Yeah. So we don't think so. That's our personal opinion. We don't think so. I think there's other investments that are much more important. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for all your questions. Keep going. It's amazing. You need to, yeah.
Questions.
That's amazing. Everyone is super stressed in here. A lot of questions.
So next question. I think this is one of the questions that is very asked. What is the best type of property to build in the Bukit? 1, 2, or 3 bedroom villas?
That's a very good question.
The question is, what is the best type of property to build in the Bukit?
You would know if you followed us on Instagram.
Oh.
Yes.
But we will answer anyway. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. TikTok.
The question-
Yeah, TikTok also.
I guess the question is related to, do you want to build and keep, build and live, build and sell?
Is it investment? Can we ask the
So-
customer? Is it purely for investment? It's very
Is it
important.
investment? Is it for you to sell? Because the
Yeah.
answer will be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have that many customers, and that's the reason for that. We don't have a lot of customers building or developers building 5 and 6 bedroom villas because normally we sell these to the families. And right now there is no schools down there. Not.
No.
It's the infrastructure, the schools.
It's actually a question. Somebody asked if there are plans to build a school in Uluwatu.
Yes. Yeah, there is a plan. I talked to them last week. There is a plan to build an international school down south. But right now, what they have been building is 1 and 2 bedrooms, and I don't think families can squeeze in those. It's mainly, but it will change. Give it another 5 years. I think the whole scenery has changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Daniel Linskip, please, what's the purpose
Yeah.
if you are building in the Bukit?
Yes.
Let us know in the comment below. So next question, Tuscany. From Tuscany, what
Oh, I
is
thought we were going to Tuscany.
from Tuscany? So
I would love to open in Tuscany.
what is the process to be able to receive rent in Bali in terms of setting up a company to allow Airbnb, etc.?
Wow. I mean, guys, thank you for your questions. They are amazing. What's the process? You should know.
Yes. The process is, so the question is, what is the process to be able to receive rent in Bali in terms of setting up a company to allow Airbnb? So as a foreigner, you can set up a company here. It's known as a PTPMA. It's 100% foreign owned. You can set that company up if you are looking to invest here in Indonesia as a foreigner. That company is able to purchase property, and depending on what that company's business codes are and what it's allowed to do, you can then do the rental of that property through the company. That is one of your options. Your other option is to find a company that specializes in this, therefore renting it to that company, who would then do your daily rental for you, and then they would be the ones doing your daily rental Airbnb.
Correct. There's many ways you can do it. I think people are a little confused. They heard, should I use a nominee? Should I use a PTPMA? Can I rent it out in my personal name? There is actually a license to pay. We really emphasize, please pay your taxes on your rental income. So there's two ways you can do it. There's three, but the main, you can rent it through your PTPMA. That means that you sign the land lease in the PTPMA and then you pay taxes through the company. Yeah. Or you can actually also get a MPVPD, which is a tax number for the villa. It's complicated, but you can do that. I talked to Bagus.
Again, there are many ways to do it, and depends on scale of the investment. Are you looking to buy one villa or 10 villas? And maybe we can guide you different ways.
Also, apartments, and we need to talk about setups in Indonesia, because I have great news for you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are the great news, Peter?
Yeah, the great news is I talk to people overseas and they're very confused and they find everything super complicated. They have the money, but they need to hold my hand, please, and take me through this process. So rental income, they wanted to stay in Indonesia. It's a savings, no problem. We can help you set up a bank account with OCBC. It's a Singaporean bank in Indonesia. We can help you to get a bank account. That means your rental income will get into an Indonesian account. You do not want, or you don't have to send it back, whether you're in the Netherlands, Spain, Italy, Australia, Singapore, I don't care. You can keep your rent here, because it is a little bit complicated to ship money back and forth. You can use Wise, but otherwise, OCBC, fantastic bank app. Joe and I have it. I think most people here have it. And then the rest is so easy. And you don't even use, you said your management company. We work with a few management companies, and we have maybe 3 that we recommend. It's easy. It's like a passive income, which is really, really nice.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
So Jason, this is from Jason Lapin.
Thank you, Jason.
So which are better ROI, Canggu or Uluwatu?
Oh, here we go.
I will, after you answer this,
Okay.
I will give you another
2 questions. The first question is, where's the best ROI, Canggu or Uluwatu?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, thank you. Now, at the moment, definitely Bingin, Uluwatu, 20% higher than Canggu. And I know it's only because of competition. In Canggu, it's been developing for 4 or 5 years. And obviously, you have a lot of beautiful villas in Canggu, which push down the price a little bit because the competition is higher. And then your ROI is going to be squeezed a little bit. Bingin, on the other hand, we see, I think I always say we need hundreds of villas to satisfy the tourism. What has happened in Bali is that the route of tourism has changed. It used to be Seminyak, Sanur, Ubud, and now it's more like Canggu, Uluwatu, Ubud.
Yeah.
So everything has changed. We don't see that many young people in Seminyak anymore. It's a very beautiful area for families, but we don't see the young people who are, I would say, the trendsetters in Bali. If you look at Instagram, you'll probably see videos from Canggu, Uluwatu Bingin, and Ubud.
Yeah.
So from the same person, he asks, who enforces the leases?
Who enforces the leases?
And does the Bali government care about the foreign investor?
Yeah, good question.
And does
the Bali government care about the
Bali
lease takers?
Care about
the
foreign investors? Yeah. So who enforces the leases? Your notary is the person you hire to do all of the legal proceedings when you're purchasing property here. The notary is actually higher than a lawyer here in Indonesia, and when they have put their signature and stamp on it, then it is a legally binding document. Yes, so they're the ones that do the lease for you. In terms of leases, maybe we should just touch on leases a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's important to say that a lease agreement is like any other document that is notarized in Indonesia. Indonesian government takes it very, very seriously once it's been notarized. That's a legal binding document, and if you don't honor it, it will be fraud and embezzlement, which is punished very hard in Indonesia. So once it's notarized, not only with a small stamp that is called materai, that's not notarization, but it is something you have to take seriously. Yeah. So of course you could go, if you think there's a breach in your lease agreement, you can actually go to court, and then if it's notarized, you're much better off than if you just have a verbal agreement with a lease holder. Yeah.
And also we got Helena Ariani, she said Bali is really beautiful.
It is, and we need to keep it that way. Because if it continues how it's going right now, it will not be in 10 years. Okay. So we need to protect it.
Let's continue with the next question, guys.
Yes, next question.
Okay.
Did you want to touch
we'll talk about leases
the leases? Yeah, good.
Okay.
After the question.
Okay. This is from Pelao Mariov. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
If I buy a villa with you for investment, you also take care about the renting and the maintenance? How much will be that cost? Thanks. Maybe that's...
So the question is, if I buy a villa with you for investment, do you also take care of the management, maintenance, and how much will that cost?
Yeah.
The answer is, do we do it? No, we are not the ones that do the management or the maintenance, but we can recommend you or refer you to different management companies here who are exceptional at what they do, and they take care of absolutely everything. So many examples we have are clients that have bought from overseas and their villa has been finished. They haven't even been here to collect the keys for the villa. The keys just get handed over to the management company. The management company take care of everything in terms of staging the villa ready for rental, linens, cutleries, plates, whatever it is that's needed, making sure safes are installed and curtains and all of that. They can do absolutely everything for you before they put it on the rental market. They will also do your maintenance and all of that. And how much will this cost? So when you rent a villa out, I think typically you're looking at costs of between 30 and 40% overall. Usually that's built up from the management fee, which can be 15 to 20%. Many of them charge a maintenance fee, which can be percentage based, or it can be a 3 to 5 million fee a month, and then several other fees such as your tax. But in general, that looks around 30 to 40% from your gross revenue.
So 60% net?
Yes.
60% net. So how much does a one bedroom make right now in the key areas? Monthly?
Yes.
No, just revenue, and then we can calculate the net afterwards.
Revenue for a one bedroom, I think there are ones that are out there that are making...
It's the calculator.
I'm thinking the yearly price.
Yeah. Well, how much do they charge per night?
180 to 220 US for a one bedroom in Canggu or Bingin. I think if you take the good examples, they can make between 60 to 80 million a month for good ones, which will give you around $3,000 to $4,000 per month.
take a note.
$3,000 to $4,000 per month of an investment of $200,000. We told you Bali is a good place.
So this is a question from YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, if we already have access to land, can you assist with the lease and etc.?
Question is, if you already have access to land, can we assist with the lease?
Yeah.
So my assumption is this is a land you haven't purchased yet, or you
Yeah.
are looking to purchase this land. Absolutely, it's something we can assist with. We have a land listing specialist in our company who is fantastic at dealing with landowners here. So yeah, it's something we can assist with, and assuming that the zoning is correct and the regulations there are correct, it's something we can guide you through. Not a problem.
So this same person said, my partner and I are looking at building a villa. Where is the best spot, in your opinion, to build, or where is vacant land at the moment that could be considered?
So same person. Question was partner and them and their partner are looking at building a villa here, and where is the best place that still has vacant land?
Yeah.
Again,
It's a broad question, yeah.
What's the purpose of the villa? If you asked me where should I build a villa to live and retire, it would be very different to where would I build a villa to rent out from a daily point of view. Maybe come back to us and tell us what the purpose is, and then we can guide you on where the areas should be that you consider.
Okay. The next question is from YouTube as well. Are the water trucks that supply Uluwatu Villa water tanks reliable?
Oh, I would like to answer that question.
Maybe you say the question again.
Are the water trucks that supply Uluwatu Villa water tanks reliable?
No, they're not. We have a huge water issue in Uluwatu. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't invest. The government knows it. Joe mentioned we have something we call PDAM. It's a government system, water supply system. It's being installed, but the problem is there's not enough water.
No.
And the Bukit means cliff, and the cliff is quite high, right? So we have water issues in Uluwatu, and it needs to be fixed. It can be fixed with a dam. It can be fixed with a PDAM. The government knows this because there's more and more people moving down there. Are the trucks reliable? No. Unfortunately, I heard some people were about to take a shower. There was no more water, and then they called the water trucks, and this water truck said, "We're sorry, you have to wait 2 or 3 days." That was a long time to wait for a shower. But it's being handled, and they are working really, really hard to, I would say, satisfy people's needs. They are actually, last week there was a big article about Jakarta government saying now we're going to ban all the hotels, because it's not actually the villas that are the big sinners here, it's the hotels. And that is comparable with apartments. So that we will touch very soon, that subject.
Funny thing is, there is a question
About apartments?
Nice.
It's from Gilani Karim. So
Yes.
Gilani asks, apartment or townhouse, which is a good option as your first investment?
Apartment or townhouse, what is the best for a first investment?
Which is good.
I hope I'm not gonna lose all the viewers now, but stay away from apartments. That's my only advice. And the reason why is when we sell a property, we want you to have a lease that belongs to you. And when you buy an apartment, they are actually operating illegally. And I can say that with a lot of faith and trust. Most of them are. I have talked to a lot of lawyers, I talked to a lot of notaries. No one can answer me. What kind of lease situation do they actually know? So normally when you purchase a villa from us, you have a small piece of land and you have a building on top. You own the land, the lease, and you have your lease, possibilities to extend and so on. So for me, be sure, let me say it this way. When you buy an apartment, if that's what you want, make sure you do your due diligence properly with your notary, and make sure you get a lease. and a notarized lease. I just learned this week that one of the biggest developers they don't notarize their documents, and I was furious when I heard this. That means that they are signing contracts approved by a lawyer, but they're not notarized. Then you have no legal rights in Indonesia if it's not notarized. So stay away from apartments unless the notary says, yes, when you buy this apartment, you own this piece of land. That's my best advice. I'm very emotional about this, you can probably see it, but it's killing Bali. And why? Because when you stack up people, 4 floors, building 160 apartments on 1,000 square meter of land, that's gonna create problems because they all want water issues, right? We have a lot of issues that's gonna be a big, big problem. So please guys, if you want to buy an apartment, do your due diligence very thoroughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your opinion about apartments?
I agree.
Yeah, that was the short version. No, we said no to how many projects?
Yeah.
20, 30 projects?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you told me from day one, you said, let's stay away from this because I am not comfortable with the setup of these ones. Yeah.
So guys, we have only 10 minutes, so
10 minutes left?
Yeah.
10 minutes left.
Oh
okay.
my God.
But
Come.
Still lots of questions to get through.
Yeah.
maybe we can do recap if you want.
Recap?
Yes. Are there any more questions we need to answer or quick fire?
Yeah. New questions?
So how do you calculate the value of a leasehold property?
How do you calculate the value of a leasehold property?
Easy.
Very straightforward. You have a lease on a certain size piece of land over a certain period of time. So you can take that land size, multiply it by the number of years that you have, and the value of the land in that area. That gets you the value of the land. Then the building has a value as well, depending on the cost to build that and the finishes that it might have. We would take a valuation of 10, 12, 14, whatever million per square meter for that building. And then that together should be how we get somewhere close to a value.
And previously we made an Instagram video about we do a free valuation. We actually don't care if you buy from us or not. We will guide you. So you can say, is this a fair price? Because we are going to be very honest. We are going to split it up in land lease, property, how much per square meter, and of course developer profit. The developers need to make money, but we will be very transparent with you.
Okay. Another quick question.
Yeah?
Yes.
Quick questions.
Quick fire.
It's real estate. We cannot do quick questions.
I see the question.
Yeah.
Can I get a building permit in green zone?
It's complicated, huh?
Not really.
Not really.
No. And if you're out there ever considering buying in green zone because you've been promised one way or another that you might get a building permit or something like that, not necessarily something that we would advise you to do unless there is already a pre-approval that the building permit will be issued in that location. But it's not always very straightforward. So sometimes, depending on the regulations here and the amount of land that there is, it is possible to build on a percentage of green zone. But we would usually make sure that they have some sort of pre-approval for you to actually get that permit in the future. Yes?
Okay, last question. How trustworthy are the developer in Bali? There are so many Russian agencies and foreign companies building. Is it safe to buy off-land from them?
So the question is, how trustworthy is it to buy in Bali?
There's so many.
How trustworthy are the developers?
How trustworthy are the developers in Bali? I don't think it's anything about nationality of developers.
No.
It's nothing about that whatsoever. I agree that there are hundreds of developers and developments here in Bali, and we carefully select the ones that we want to work with based on what we said earlier, which is the due diligence that we do. And this usually is through several face-to-face conversations with the developers. It's not possible to just send us your development and list on our website unless we've actually vetted it ourselves. How safe is it to buy others? Only as safe as the due diligence you do, I would say. But I don't think it's anything about the nationalities that you buy from or anything like that. There are a lot of fantastic developers from all around the world here in Bali, but be very careful on who you choose to work with based on their experience and based on the due diligence you do and the notary you use.
Yep. Make sure you can talk to your notary, right? Make sure he speaks English if you don't speak fluent Bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, so this is the last question.
Okay,
I promise.
last question.
Last question. We would like you to just push a thumbs up if you want us to repeat this kind of live video next time, because it's very important for us to help you guys.
Okay, so hello, I'm from France. What's the easier way to invest in Bali? I never been to Bali before. If I never been to
The
Bali.
question is, hello, I'm from France.
Yeah.
What's the name? Proven Property.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm from France. What is the easiest way to invest in Bali if I've never been to Bali?
Call Joe.
Or, no. Call Emma
Yeah.
in our sales team.
Yes, true.
Who is
Fluent.
French,
Yeah.
and she will assist you. Just anybody out there around the world. We have English, Spanish, French, Danish, Swedish, Indonesian. Am I missing one?
Japanese. Friday, Japanese.
That's it, I think.
Beginners level.
Yeah, languages, yeah. But if you are from France,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely get in contact with us, send your number, and we can put you in contact with myself or a French-speaking agent in the company who will guide you through everything. And you don't need to have been to Bali
Exactly.
before to invest here, and you don't need to come to Bali to finalize your transaction either.
So true. Joe, he mentioned it previously, around 10-15% of our customers are not coming before they actually get the keys. So they stay 1 week in their own villa, but otherwise it's purely an investment for them. So it is very easy. You can even give us a power of attorney and we will sign on your behalf. We will protect you in your investment and yeah.
We have investment guide, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. May, who's sitting here, she made a beautiful investment guide and it's for free. It's 26 pages.
Yeah.
Guidelines about how to invest in Bali. Do not purchase in Bali before you read it, because most of the investments that we deal with, they're between $200,000 to $400,000. It's a lot of money, and like we said, it's not a mortgage. It's your own private savings, so you have to take good care of them. Do we have more questions?
So
Yeah. Yeah.
DM us. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, for
First
sure.
up,
Yeah.
DM us if you have more questions.
Yeah.
If you have questions that we haven't answered, or you finish this Instagram, YouTube live and think, damn it, I wish I asked that question.
Yeah.
DM us. Send it through. Our sales team will be happy to help you. And if you're just tuning in and you're right at the end of this, this is going to be reposted on YouTube later, so you can actually catch up with the whole thing. And we would love to do this again as well one day.
And please come with suggestions about what kind of videos we should do.
Yes.
That's very valuable for us, because we can do short form, we can do long form, it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
We love content.
We love
yeah,
content.
exactly. We love you guys, we love content, we love real estate, we love Bali. So it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yes. Tita is saying, please like and subscribe. It's very important, because our YouTube is very informative. That's where we can go long form videos. We are right now live on YouTube, but we need you guys. So if you're following on Instagram, we have almost 300,000 followers, and they are real. I can tell you, real followers. We know that from comments and likes, and so we don't cheat with our followers. But we need you guys from Instagram to go over to YouTube. It's very different content, so please guys, go to YouTube, go to Propertia and subscribe.
don't forget to mention TikTok.
And also TikTok. May is doing TikTok. Super nice. That's the fun content. That's
LinkedIn.
amazing. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn for
Yes.
informative.
Yep.
Facebook.
Crazy world.
Yes.
Crazy world. And don't forget to buy a property in Bali. That's it.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
See you soon.